Hey, what's up, VC? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel, and it's time for another update. This time it's going to be my Record Store Day 2015 update. Pretty good Record Store Day. I actually went out for Record Store Day. Usually I'll go out later in the afternoon or the next day. There's a lot of CD warehouses out here, which is kind of a small chain used music store, mostly CDs, but they do carry vinyl. And they've gotten involved in Record Store Day the last few years, and they always get a really big inventory. So I decided to go there. Plus, it's not one of the big name record stores, so there's not a whole lot of people there. The one disappointment I had is they told us the wrong time that they were opening. Their normal hours for the particular store I was going to, they usually open at 10. And when I asked a few days before, they said they were open at normal time. And then I got there and I got there about 10:15 and they had been open since about 9. So actually I got there about 10:05. But they still had a lot, and they had a lot of the rare stuff that people are looking for. Not so much that I was, you know, like they had a couple of the Citizen Dick singles. And I skipped on that not knowing what it was. I didn't realize that was the band from Singles. And had I realized that, I would have bought that just because I did like that movie. They had a bunch of the Black Keys albums. Just a lot of the stuff that people were really looking for. They were missing 2 of the main records that I wanted, but I'll get to that in a second. So let's just kind of jump in with the stuff that I did buy. First up, I bought the Reverend Horton Heat 45. If you've watched my videos, I've talked about Reverend Horton Heat probably 7 or 8 times. I've been a fan of them since 93, 94 time frame. They're a rockabilly, psychobilly band, and this 45 is on red vinyl, and it's Beer Write This Song, and It's a Rave Up. And I'm thinking It's a Rave Up was not a new song. Beer Write This Song was. So that was the first one I bought at the CD warehouse. Then I went to the 10 inches, and they had a few 10 inches. The one 10 inch that I really wanted was the Elvis album, and they didn't have that. I'm not a huge fan of Elvis's later stuff, but I do like the stuff that he did at Sun Records, and if you're familiar with the 10 inch they had, it's the first 2 songs that he ever recorded for Sun. So, but they did have this one. This is one that I did mention a number of times, wanting, and this is the Blackberry Smoke 10 inch, and it's called Wood, Wire, and Roses, and it's 5 acoustic songs that were previously unreleased. So, and then also a Tom Waits cover. So, and I haven't listened. This is one of the only ones I haven't listened to yet. I've listened to just about everything else. The other stuff that I bought there was Electric Wizard, Time to Die. And this is the same as the one that came out last year. The differences are the original release, it was silver. This has the bronze logo there. And the packaging on this is pretty cool. There's the inner sleeve. And then it's got custom insert or inner sleeve as well, but it comes with this poster, and it's the same poster that's in the other one, but it's still a really cool poster of the band, I think. Shows the whole band in coffins, which I just thought that was a cool poster. Actually, I think it is slightly different than the other one, because I think the original poster had the song titles in the one coffin. I may be wrong, though. This is my first Electric Wizard album. I had heard some of their stuff before. Very dark lyrics. Deals a lot with, I guess, drugs and cults and stuff like that. I hear a lot of people talking about them being satanic, and they do use a lot of satanic imagery, and even one of their Destroy Those Who Love God is the name of one of the instrumentals. The lyrics themselves are not satanic, though, at least not on this album. They're very dark, but dealing mostly with death. And then those came on really nice clear vinyl. Of all the different types of colored vinyl you can get, and I know that what I'm about to say makes no sense, but the clear vinyl is my favorite, and I say it makes no sense because there's obviously a lack of color, but I don't know. I've always liked colored vinyl. I know a lot of people don't like it, but and for some reason I've always really liked the clear vinyl. The next one I grabbed was Hawkwind's self-titled debut. This album's great. I really dug this. This is also my first Hawkwind album. I don't know that I've ever actually heard Hawkwind. I'm familiar with them mostly because of members of the VC talking about them. Kind of a mix of psych and space rock, but I really dug it. I gave this a spin yesterday, and this will be on my rotation for a while. Got the inner sleeve, and then this is on a orange vinyl, and this is pre Lemmy wasn't in the band yet, Lemmy Kilmister, so, but still, just an amazing album, and I'll definitely be looking for more from this band in the future. Next up, man, this album was, this is one I took a chance with. I saw a pre-record store day video talking about some of the psych albums that were coming out, and they talked highly of this one, so when I ran across it, I grabbed it, and I'm so glad that I did. This is Genesis from the Gods, the back cover, and it's real cool. You can see kind of the fold-over flap. This is basically an exact replica of how the record was put out back in 68 on Parlophone. It's very cool. You can see it's a mono pressing. If you're not familiar with the Gods, this is the band that produced two members of Uriah Heep. One of the members went on to play in Jethro Tull. Lake from Emerson, Lake and Palmer was in this band for a short time. He wasn't on this album, but he was also in this band. It was his first big band. And so, a lot of history in this band. It's straight up psych for the most part. There's two songs on here that are really heavy and really heavy in the bass line. Very much a hard psych type of feel, and kind of that sound that you would later hear in bands like Uriah Heep. So, and this one, sorry, my sinuses are going crazy. It's raining right now. And this one's on a really pretty gray and blue Starburst vinyl. You can see both sides there. Just a really killer album that if you haven't heard this and you're a fan of Uriah Heep, or just hard psych in general, I highly recommend picking this album up. Really, really killer. The next one that I grabbed was one I remember. I basically forgot about it. I read it was coming out, and basically just forgot. But this is choice cuts from Carcass. So what it is the album 1 is basically kind of a greatest hits. And then album 2 is the Pill Sessions from '89, and then the Pill Sessions from '90. Really, really good. I'm a big fan of Carcass anyway. This was by far my favorite of the death metal bands. And in the mid '90s, this was the main band that I was listening to. So, back cover, inner sleeve. Oops. And this has hits, Genital Grinder, Maggot Colony, on through Heartwork, and also Swan Song as well. So this goes from was it Descanting? I can't remember if Descanting and Insalubrious was their first album, but it's from their first album through Swan Song. And then this also comes on blood red vinyl. And then this one also had custom sleeves too, but and the other one's slightly different, but it's nothing that I feel needs to be pulled out and shown. Sounds killer. It really took me back. While I do still listen to Heartwork on occasion, I have Heartwork and the Heartwork EP on CD. I don't listen to Descanting the Necroticism that often. I don't listen to their first two albums that often anymore, like I did at one time. So it was really cool. It took me back to the 90s. This next one is another one that took me back. I don't like everything that this band's put out, but I really like their first 4 albums or so. And when I heard that they were re-releasing this was high on my list of stuff to pick up. This is America Must Be Destroyed from Gwar. Really cool album cover. And then a really cool, you can see that's a pop up there. I love that. And then it came with a little certificate that says that this is indeed a limited edition Record Store Day exclusive from Metal Blade there. And then it's on black vinyl, which for some reason I thought, I remember reading that this was going to be on colored vinyl, but it doesn't matter. It's got that really cool custom and then there's one more that I got at CD Warehouse. The last one I got at CD Warehouse is one I didn't even know was coming out. This band is a favorite of mine. I've loved this band since I first heard them in probably 90 or 91. And that's Social Distortion's self-titled album. I'm really a fan of everything that Mike Ness has put out, whether it's Social Distortion or one of his 2 solo albums. They're all amazing. And I've loved everything that Social Distortion did, going back to the early punk stuff, all the way through probably this album, all the way through the newest where it's more rockabilly. Actually, this and Halfway Between Heaven and Hell are probably my favorites. But front cover, you got the back cover, and then it's on a really nice blue translucent vinyl. And this one sounds, I was just listening to this right before I did this video, and this one is 526. I'm not sure how many of these that they did. A bunch of these are limited, but they're not super limited. For instance, the Electric Wizard, I think they did 4,000, and mine's like number 2,000. Most of the super limited stuff wasn't stuff I was really looking for. Obviously, the Elvis was. The one that I really wanted was the Mark Kozlik, which I didn't find, but I'll get to that in a second. I didn't run across the Metallica tape, which was, those are probably the 2 albums that I wanted the most, was the Mark Kozlik and the Metallica tape, and I didn't run across either of those. Now, I will say that the CD Warehouse I went to, they did get 5 copies of the Metallica, but they sold right away. So like I said, they opened an hour before they said they were going to, and all the tapes were gone. So, and then I went to 4 different places, and nobody got the Mark Kozlik album, which, and I've heard that from a lot of, and there's some really big music stores here that I stopped at that usually get everything, even the most limited stuff, and they didn't get copies either. But then I hear about places like little tiny record stores in Lincoln, Nebraska that got like 6 copies. So it doesn't make sense to me the way they, and that's the one big issue I have with Record Store Day. I like, a lot of people complain about the exclusivity of a lot of the albums. I really think that's kind of cool. but at the same time, they've got to do a better job of putting this stuff out. And then I saw, even with members of the VC, which really kind of bothered me, where they bought like 4 or 5 copies of some of these really rare stuff, really rare albums or really rare releases. And I don't think the record store should allow that. If you're coming in, I get picking something up for somebody else, but when you go in and buy 4, and I'll use Mark Kozlik for an example. When you go out and buy 4 Mark Kozlik albums, you're not buying those for yourself. You're buying those to sell. And I was really disappointed with how many members of the vinyl community were, and it's mostly the online vinyl community or the Facebook vinyl community. But I was pretty bothered by the number of people that were already selling stuff within hours of record store day. At the same time, while they were talking trash about people on eBay selling what they bought. So it just kind of annoys me. But so that the Mark Kozlik and the Metallica were the main ones I went to. So after I left can't think of the name of it now. I basically went to 4 record stores, and I was able to find, let me see, none of them really got copies of the Mark Kozlik. 2 of them got copies of Metallica, but they had both sold out, so I was pretty much SOL with those. And so I went to the second record store, which is Audio Revolution, which is a cool little store. It's run by some kids, and I say kids, I mean they're college age kids that have started a record store, and I get some pretty good stuff there on occasion. But they couldn't afford to do record store day. It's still a young store. Then I went to Sounds Good, which is a store that's been around forever out here. It went from being an active store years and years ago to a store that's only open 1 day a week. And he just doesn't make a lot of money there, so he only had about $1,000, $1,500 to spend on record store day, so he didn't get much. But what I did get from him was another release that I didn't know was going to be out, and that's what we're listening to right now, and this is Candlemass Live. Now, if I remember correctly, alright, sorry about that, I had a bit of technical difficulty there. I had to make a little bit more room on the iPad, but I was showing the copy of Candlemass Live. I got It Sounds Good. Like I said, this is another one I didn't know was coming out. This was originally released in 1990. They released it last year in Europe, in Germany, I believe. And those were both on colored vinyl. I believe it's the first time it was released in the US, but on vinyl anyway. But here's the inner sleeve. Really killer live set. Like I said, it's what we're listening to in the background. Sounds really, really good. So this is another one that I was real happy with. Again, that's on black vinyl. Again, he didn't have anything else that I wanted, so I left. Decided to go to the other CD warehouse, which is on the other side of town. I should say on the other side of town. It's about 30 minutes away, though. And most of their stuff had been picked through. But there was one album that I didn't get at the first CD warehouse that I really wanted to get, because I found out what it was, and that was the Mystery Side by Side. The reason I didn't buy it, I never buy the Mystery albums because you don't know what they are, and I don't want to spend the $8 on something that I'm not going to like. And then I read online that it was Sheena's a Punk Rocker, which is a song that I really dig from the Ramones. And it's a live version of Sheena's a Punk Rocker from the Ramones, and also a live version from Husker Du, which I wasn't really impressed. Their version I didn't think was that good, but I do like the Ramones version. And it's on this cool, almost kind of tri-colored vinyl. And that was it that I picked up. Like I said, I wasn't able to get the Metallica or the Mark Kozlik, so I put the feelers out, put the word out that I was looking for those. And lucky enough, John, SMF Captain Howdy, said that he saw one at his local record store and he would go back and check and see if they got it. Sure enough, they had a copy, so he picked it up for me. So thanks a million, John. I can't say how much I appreciate that. That was one of the main albums that I wanted. The one I was really disappointed about was the Mark Kozlik album. And the Mark Kozlik album's really cool. It's I've heard a couple songs from it. It's got some AC/DC covers on it that are really cool. And it was one that I really wanted, so I asked a bunch of people to get a copy, and everybody had the same issue. They got to the record store and they didn't get any copies. I only had one person say that their record store got copies, and they only got 2 copies, and they sold immediately. So I had pretty much given up on that. I was checking online, looking all over the place, and they were already going for 70, 80 bucks, which is actually normal for Mark Kozelek. That's one of the things with Mark Kozelek. All of his albums, everything he puts out is a limited press, and they all sell out really fast. And then after that, they all sell for anywhere from $50 to the multi-$100 range. And I've been lucky enough to get 3 of his albums so far. I'd like to get them all eventually. I know that they're about to release the Red House Painters albums individually. They just did a box set, which I tried to get, and the pre-sale, I logged in the day that it went up for pre-sale, and it was already sold out. But they're going to individually release those in a couple of months. I'm looking forward to that. But I was able to find it finally last night for a decent price. Like I said, people are asking 75, 80 bucks. I found it for well less than half of that. Somebody definitely hooked me up, so I was really happy about that. So that's it for my record store day. Tell me what you guys think. There are a couple albums that I didn't realize were coming out that I'm still looking for. One of them is from Against Me, which I'm a big fan of that band. They had a 7-inch that came out. I didn't know that the Pantera 7-inch was coming out. Or I'm sorry, excuse me, the Slayer 7-inch. That's one I didn't realize, and that's a 7-inch picture disc, so I'm still looking for that. And then also the Elvis. The Elvis I probably won't find, but the Slayer and the Against Me will probably pop up. Usually they don't. The record stores don't start selling their stuff online for 3 or 4 days after record store day, so I'll start looking after that. But that's pretty much it, guys. Tell me what you thought. Tell me how your record store day went. I look forward to seeing your videos. Take care, VC.